All right, so here's our assignment for the day. The vehicle you guys drove to the invasion.
Military Jeep. Yep.
There is a professional life and death struggle going on with WCW, whose stated goal is not to beat us in the ratings, but to put us out of business.
Generation X proudly fires a shot at WCW. Go! Yeah!
Monday Night Wars was at the height of our business. I mean, you had WCW, you had WWE, and both of those guys were jockeying for position. And I'm gonna tell you, man, you just want to be on the right team.
This was Ted Turner and the billion-dollar conglomerate, and Vince owned his company privately at the time. We were, to me, the little engines that could.
It takes more than just money to be successful in the business, in the professional wrestling business. It takes devotion, it takes commitment.
A lot of segments you were flipping back and forth, but when DX came on your screen, you put the channel changer down. You had to see what they were gonna pull off that night, how far they were gonna go.
For 83 weeks, it went in favor of WCW. The night of this Jeep was the first night we beat them in the ratings.
And who rules the world of professional wrestling?
Well, this ain't her, but I've been in a few of these.
Hello there.
Are you John?
I am, John Warren.
I'm Mick Foley.
Nice to meet you.
Brian James, AKA the D.O. Double.
I've never met somebody who owned a military vehicle like this.
Well, he doesn't own a military
You
vehicle.
own several military vehicles, right?
Yeah, I guess we've got our own militia.
Yeah, yeah, that's the truth.
It's a very rare vehicle. My father drove all the way out to Denver, Colorado, just for the Jeep. And then my dad drove all the way down to Texas just for the gun. So that's how hard it was to get all the pieces together. And you gotta think, this is back in the 80s. And now it's about impossible.
We could sit here and talk all day, and I'd love that.
No, we're
I'll
gonna
tell you
take a
what.
look. Let's go in there.
All right, y'all ready?
Oh, back up a little
Dun,
bit.
dun, dun. Oh, man.
There you go.
Wow. I didn't think that was her because she was so shiny. Perfectly preserved, right? It is the one, man.
Did you know that your dad was loaning the Jeep to WWE?
My dad didn't really give me a whole lot of details. I don't think I found out until like 3 or 4 days before we left. And he was like, hey, we're gonna go up here to Virginia. We're gonna do a show for wrestling.
So, Dog, there were 5 of you on
Yeah,
this
we
thing.
were literally standing
Standing,
on
right?
this
Yeah,
thing, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Somebody was sat there, but feet hanging off.
And who was doing the driving?
Your
Your dad?
My father,
Yeah, Colonel
yes.
Willie.
Looking at the Army Jeep. There's Dad. Hunter Hearst Helmsley. China. One of the New Age Outlaws.
I was behind the scenes, backstage, the whole day.
Good, good.
I can remember getting to the building when we were going to invade WCW the first day, and Billy and Road Dogg and Kid showing up, and I knew what was going on. They did not. Vince had made me promise, you can't tell anybody, because if this gets out, it gets ruined. And they walked up to me like, what are we doing? And we saw these guys painting all this military stuff with our logos. Like, what are we doing? I can't tell you, but holy it's epic. Like, this is historic. Like, if we pull this off, it lives forever.
This is when Billy decided he was gonna break off the branches off the bush over there.
And put them in the helmets, yeah.
You guys seen Billy anywhere? Billy! Hunter tried to keep us alive and keep our head out of the soup at Denny's or whatever. So, look, he was definitely the kind of ringleader, and me and X-Pac would be in the car doing extracurricular stuff. Billy would be at the gym with China.
There's China with my father.
We were on the road 300 days a year, so I was with them more those 2 years than I was my wife, that's for sure. We were a bunch of real individuals that just gelled really well together, and the rest is history, you know? What I want to talk more about is the opportunity that is in front of us. Should we drive it? Oh, we're cooking now.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it runs great. Just what a cool feeling for me right now in my life. We put smiles on people's faces. That's WWE's mantra. You put one on mine today. Getting to experience what I got to experience today with a friend of mine who literally I've known for 30 years and we've traveled the roads together. A really cool day for the Road Dogg.
Well, we cannot thank you enough for this experience. The only thing that could make this day better is bringing this into the WWE family. Would you consider parting with it?
It'd be extremely difficult.
So, from a price perspective or emotionally?
Both. Ultimately, my goal is to build a museum to store my dad's stuff in, you know, for me to give up my centerpiece of the museum. But at the same time, it could also pay for the building and the startup. So I guess that's kind of what I have to look at.
You're not gonna throw a number out first, are you?
It would probably be something around $300,000.
Now, John, I'm not doubting you as to the worth of this vehicle, but how do you arrive at that figure?
Well, with it being the only one in the world, and it's famous, it was already popular and famous prior to the WWE. It's won the Best of the Show 3 times.
I'm only authorized to go to $50,000, and so we're not even in the ballpark.
Yeah.
But what we would like to ask you is if we could possibly borrow this.
Get ready, Barclays Center, next Monday in Brooklyn. 25 years, the anniversary of DX.
The Raw season premiere is set to coincide with the 25th anniversary of the formation of DX. And it just seems like a perfect way to celebrate would be to have the guys riding in on that actual Jeep.
Then we are the #1 wrestling promotion in the world!
The Jeep is very important to the WWE, but from the time I was, 8 to 10 years old, I watched my dad restore the whole thing. Now that I've lost my father, it has a lot more. As a kid, you don't really think about, how much the vehicle meant, but just give me a minute. What I would be willing to do is I can bring my wife and my 2 sons, and then we'll come with the Jeep. The boys will enjoy that, so
yeah,
we can get it all set up.
Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Man. Kudos to Mick for having that kind of plan B in his back pocket. And it's almost the best of both worlds, right? We get to continue this great relationship with this family that's almost a quarter of a century old now. And the fans will get to see it, and they'll get to come have some great times at the show. So, yeah, I'm excited about what we're walking away with.
The memories we made for everyone. I remember this like yesterday.
How many asses I kicked with these boots.
Roddy Piper's leather jacket. We need this.